Pygmalion and Galatea. Pygmalion was a sculptor with unique skills. His works were admired all over the world. The sculptor traveled to the island of Cyprus because there he would have access to marble with such quality that his works would appear to be made of ivory. Pygmalion was very demanding and was looking for a woman to be his wife, but he could only see faults in all women, so he opted for celibacy. A large block of marble was delivered to his workshop. The sculptor, when observing the raw stone, saw in it all the necessary qualities to make his masterpiece. He decided to make the statue of a woman, but not like a woman like the ones he saw in the streets. For him, they were vulgar and extremely flawed. Pygmalion prepared himself to make a perfect woman, young, beautiful, and virginal. But on the island of Cyprus, there wasn't a woman to serve as a model. So the artist sculpted from his imagination the inspiration to create such a woman, and he started working. For a long time, Pygmalion dedicated himself exclusively to what would be his masterpiece. The sculptor devoted himself to every detail of his work, and the result was perfect. He had produced the most beautiful statue that had ever been sculpted. Pygmalion was delighted with his own work and named it Galatea. The statue was so perfect that the artist sometimes touched it to make sure it was not a real woman. The sculptor was in love with his own work. He caressed her face and dressed her with the purest silk. His love for the statue is so much that he even put it on his bed to sleep next to him. The day of the festival that celebrated the goddess Aphrodite, the goddess of love, arrived. Pygmalion realized he was obsessed with Galatea, his beloved marble and ivory. Pygmalion went to the temple to pay his due respect to the goddess. After making an offer to the goddess, Pygmalion asked her, "Goddess Aphrodite, I know I tried to avoid love at all costs, but I never intended to offend you. Now I'm here, frustrated before your temple, overwhelmed by the power of love, and I ask you for a wife, like my ivory girl." The goddess Aphrodite was touched by the passionate artist's plea. Pygmalion returned home and found the statue of his beloved Galatea, in which he has given his life with, slowly turning into a woman. Pygmalion was so shocked of the sight. He gripped his beloved Galatea. At that moment, he felt the warmth and softness of his beloved. Her body was no longer rigid like stone, and she gave in to the grip of his arm. Aphrodite has transformed the marble statue into a real woman, and under the blessing of the goddess of love, Pygmalion and Galatea got married.